Hey there, team, and welcome to Cardoon. No, not Cardoon. No, definitely not Cardoon. What is the Rudauer settlement called again? This is it. Either way, welcome here. So absolutely gorgeous looking map, of course. Absolutely love the little ice and so on. The ice breaks here, there, and everywhere. For a 1, 2, 3 versus, or is this a 4? Is that a 4th player? Oh yeah, one is tucked up here actually. Goodness me. We've got 1, 2, 2, yep, 2, 3. Wish I could move a little bit faster. 4, yeah, okay, so it's a 4. It might be a 4v4. The boys do play a lot of 4v4s actually. So this one I got sent back in December by the boys. So Hidden here sent this over. So he's playing as Arthedain today. He's got his Fornoceran defenders. Arthedain, sorry, I mean spears? Fornoceran defenders, are they a thing? Defenders of Fornos, they're the sword master unit, of course. Good. The Fornoceran defenders used to be that spear and shield. That's what was confusing me for a second. Arthedain spears there. Arthedain men at arms. Lots of armor upgrades for the boys today. He's got his trebuchet as well. So yeah, very beefed up Arthedain force. Nice to see. Arthedain spears there with that ram. Behind them some Dunedain troll slayers with an armor upgrade, or is that how they look as standard right now? Either way, quite menacing, both at range and in melee too. With that spears, because they're spearmen in melee, aren't they? Are they AP? Are they still AP with those spears? Or are they just sort of exceptional? Of course, because spears, that 200 spears are great for killing monsters. So that's sort of how now they are actually, you know, really effective troll slayers, which to be honest, they always have been with those heavy axes. But either way, High Lords of Anumnus back here, looking absolutely stunning. Arthedain pikes again, double armor upgrade for the Arthedain pikes. Dunedain scouts here, it's nice to see. And Wardens of the North, very good, with some more Dunedain scouts. So 2 units of Dunedain scouts, an interesting shout. Yeah, I mean, helps you. Worst case scenario, more bows to just sort of rattle arrows into the open areas, but also can sort of chase down anything that's running out at you quite effectively. To his right, he does have a wild man here. He's got Dunland played by Y2K. What the heck? What? How is this the case? These beastmen of Dunland, how are they? Is that just where they're standing in terms of like? Okay. Oh, either way, it's 1, 2, 3 of them. Behind them, Dunlanding pikemen there with an armor upgrade. They've got their little helmets on today. Urukai raiders in front. Ravenborn to their side, those heavy axes with some ladders. Very good. I do love some ladders. Ravenborn wardens there for those crossbows. Some mountain Ravenborn wardens. Is that 1 unit? It is 1 unit of Ravenborn wardens. Again, I think it's a nice choice. And more Ravenborn. So I'm like starting to get to the point where, you know, we're like, how much cavalry are we taking? You know, I don't want to see too much more cav, and especially with Rohan on the field here. Played by Mendex, doesn't look like he's gone into too heavy cav. We do see some over at the side there. Shield Maidens, Helmingus, very nice, very nice. Riddermark Skirms and Red Shields of Erkenbrand. Okay, a lot to throw at the enemy from our cavalry. But yeah, okay, cool. Helms, hammers in the back here, and the catapult as well, that dwarven catapult. Oh, shoot, and no, that was Rohan. Last attacker all the way over here is another green boy. Sorry, why am I'm kind of jumping a little bit jittery today. Playing as played by Cardolan, playing as Cardolan, played by Nuke. He's got his Tharbad Toll Keepers there alongside some Cardolan men at arms. Greenway Garrison Footmen in the back there. And yeah, Greenway Footmen, not Garrison Footmen. The Dunedain Captains today. Very, very cool. I love the Dunedain Captains. Well, I love the look of them. I just don't take them. They don't fit into my playstyle too well usually. Tharbad Warhammers. Then Thieves of Tharbad. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely glorious Thieves. Merc Crossbows, of course. Hearthguard of Amon Soul, Cardolan archers, crossbowmen, and the gatekeepers over on the side. So yeah, like, I really like this army. Well, I like these armies. I like these. I like this sort of alliance that's been set up here. Of course, we do have some orcs and uruks, but I can assume that them being, you know, half orcs from the Dunlanding side. So yeah, no, that's pretty cool. We'll see what the defenders are in a moment when that is finished. So first concern, slight concern, we do have a lot of cavalry on the attack here, and especially if this is a 4v4, we might lack that infantry, those infantry numbers, that infantry power to push through. But generally, the cavalry that has been brought, I think, is quite sensible. I think we've got we've got merc crossbows, we've got horse archers. You know, what I'm hoping for is that the defenders have some sort of cavalry as well, because any sort of cavalry that comes rushing out is going to be very effectively countered. So, because we've invested so much as the attackers into our cavalry, we're kind of hoping the defenders have got something, or I'm a little worried. If not, I'm a little worried that the attackers aren't going to be able to effectively use their cav. There's a lot of flat ground, like especially if those Dunland captains can run around freely up here, or in this area, for instance, you know, or, I mean, heck, anywhere in this little street area, this could be absolutely brutal. So, you know, maybe it is a... I've only really played on this map sort of twice, I believe, so it's still something that I'm sort of getting to grips with. I say a lot of these new maps don't quite know the meta for them, which I think is a good thing. You know, I feel with a lot of maps that were getting played so frequently, it was like, this is how you've got to play this map. This is how you're best to play this map. I'm set on 2x speed, but feel free to check the description. There should be a timestamp to jump straight to the action. So if you do want to just get stuck in, then go for that. I'll go to 0.4 speed. We might get a little bit of firepower going back and forth, but it shouldn't be too bad. We've got Tommy here playing as Mordor. He's got his shadow bows, beasts of Gororoth there, so we might have something that's charging out, but maybe not. Hertum playing as Rhovanion. I quite like that. Rhovanion can definitely be like a neutral faction, so that makes a bit of sense. His tribal slingers there, and his tribal levy spear, sorry, hitting up in the background there. Behind them, Dorwinion. Okay, well, I guess Dorwinion can be, you know, sort of assisting here as mercenaries. He's got his river patrol mixed in with the tribal levy skirms, some phalanx forces there, golden raiders, absolutely beautiful to see them on the field. Definitely as a defender, very good. Rhovakin nobles, anything absolutely crazy? Not too much. See, I like Rhovanion is great on the defense just because of all those slingers. It's just, yeah, a fantastic tool to have. And Johnny is Rhun today. He does have that Dragon's Breath cannon, which we saw there. Any armor upgrades for the boys? No armor upgrades for the tribal, the tribesmen there. This is a 4v4 now, so you're going to see some slightly less elite defending armies than we may expect normally. Some orc maulers there with the armor upgrades, giving them that sort of Moranon look. We're sort of jolting around a little bit, which is very odd as we... Very strange. Hopefully that fades shortly. Orc fodder there alongside the Bolokai. I think it's just due to the speed that I'm going through with this right now. And Tommy, of course, lots more orcs and uruks over there. The Executioners alongside some Temple Guard. An armor upgrade for the Executioners today, so yeah, they can definitely comfortably go toe-to-toe with any of these humans that are, you know, coming at them in melee. Troll Catapult in the back there from Tommy. Blade Man, well yeah, it's some Sapphire Bladesmen. Over here some Scion Rim. Yeah, nothing on the back. It looks like, yeah, some Shadow Bows coming down from Tommy. Elvelyn Infantry from Lobot, or Lobo, however you want to be saying that. As they make their way across here, lots and lots of Elvelyn, the Glade Guard, Infantry, Glade Guard, and oh, good! So, heaps of Stalkers. This is actually quite a lot of Stalkers, goodness me. Rushing out alongside some Sabertooth Riders. Okay, so we do have some big investment from Cav. Merc Crossbows coming out to meet them immediately. Not something that they're going to be able to stand for too long, but a good quick shot into the Sabertooth Riders from by Hertum. Bit nasty. But definitely do not want to be engaging that for very long at all. The captains will do all right against them, but don't really want to be having this fight right next to the towers with all those stalkers there. Bit nasty. I would definitely be calling for a little bit of assistance from some of my allied cav with this confrontation going on. Those captains, as I say, they'll do their very best here. Is this something I can maybe make work? Just so I don't have to think too much about it later, but we'll see, we'll see. Those captains kind of getting sliced and diced by those saber-tooth riders, and especially with all of that assistance, the worry here is we might end up getting a break from those captains. This is maybe a fight that Nuke shouldn't have taken straight away, but saying that, holy smokes, he is actually slicing and dicing those riders, isn't he? Wow, holy smokes, yeah, he's doing really, really well against those riders, far better than I expected him to. Over here, Stalkers, and now he's sort of in behind the Stalkers as well. This might actually mess up some defending strategy right now if he can sort of deal with this quite quickly. I'm still hoping to see some movement. Let's dart across the field. We do have those red shields from Medexa. They might be running on over here, but they're getting quite close to the walls as they do so. Hidden's going straight in. No sort of grace period on display, of course. Dunland captains, not captains, Dunland scouts coming in to assist his brother of Arnor. Nice to see. Saber-tooth Riders sort of pulling out a little bit more damage here, but well, I guess that's just because the amount of firepower that's coming in. Again, that's poison arrow damage is going to damage the morale of the captains, possibly help cause a bit of a rout. Over here, Merc crossbows still just rattling shots in everywhere they can get them. Okay, well, I mean, both sides have definitely made each other bleed, but I think that of course, as a defender, you're always hoping to get... You really just need to make your money worth as a defender. And I don't quite know if he's done that. And of course, the tools that he's been dealing with out here, not really anything that's too much of a worry. Losing a few of these captains, of course, I mean, those captains are kind of meant for this. Kind of what they were sort of taken for. But, yeah, they're still slicing and dicing those Stalkers, taking a lot of fire from it, but... shrugging off a lot of that damage because of the armor value of those captains and so on. But no, instead of getting like some shots into the juicy unarmored backs of some of these massed infantry formations or unshielded backs, they're just having to be used like this. Either way, I don't think anybody is going to be too upset with how that's gone, attackers or defenders, but I think that Nuke that's going a lot better for him than I expected that to go. Those scouts can now come in, start sort of not really out-shooting the Stalkers, but because the Stalkers are so badly damaged, they probably will. And especially once the red shields turn up, that'll change the game big time over there. Hidden is not slowed. Now that's something that we do have to worry about slightly, is that now, like, Cardolan's not been advancing there. He's been microwaving the cav, he's been keeping his troops back, whereas Hidden's he's chucking himself straight in there. We do need to make sure that we're attacking in time with everybody else. Over here, the Riddermark Skirm is pressed right up against the wall. Are these towers? I'm just going to go quiet for a second. Hearing anything going? Well, there's not actually anybody nearby to activate them, so either way, we wouldn't be hearing any arrow fire. I don't know if those are actual towers. Let's be quiet for a second. No, I think that's just an aesthetic tower and a ladder. I don't think that's actually firing arrows, and yeah, we would see them here as well with these towers. So that's quite nice. I'm not really a big fan of arrow towers. I usually prefer them to just be aesthetic. I think that Reforged kind of lends itself to be it's a little bit better without them. You can see here, Stalkers opening up. But exchanging with the red shields are just about as good as you can get horse archer wise, of course, apart from the real elite Candish horse archers, can be pretty cost effective with horse archers too. But the red shields, pound for pound, are pretty damn good. Poor crossbowmen here getting a real beating, and I think that's them out. That's them out now, and I think with those numbers, they are definitely not coming back from that. So that was a good catch. You do not want to lose a unit like that without using up all their ammo. That's a very high damage bolt, and of course it's a bolt, so it's armor piercing.
The battering ram has done its work.
Wow, that looked quite good actually. That looked really good. Just them absolutely flooding in there. As soon as that opened up, that was very cool from Hidden. And he's just gained that ground. And the only thing standing in his way are tribal levy spears. Lots of tribal levy spears, but just tribal levy spears, which the Arthedain forces will gut their way through, especially if there's a man-at-arms coming in behind this spearman unit. This will be a lovely fight. Now, I'm sure that something else will come in to answer to this, but right now, all that Hurtum has here, he's got some slingers over here, which that'll definitely hurt. Trebuchet opening up. It's like it was just a general strike into these blobs in the back here. I don't think he's not trying to break open anything or anything like that. Hidden is reorganizing. I would get stuck in. I mean, maybe I was just talking about this like a second ago that like Hidden's maybe coming in a bit too fast, but because of that, like Hurtum just wasn't really ready for that push, and I would have maybe wanted to capitalize on that, but Hidden knows what he's doing. He is a more experienced player than I am, so I would trust him if he's not wanting to get stuck in. But see, he's going for it over here though. Either way, claiming the walls is a great thing, especially, I mean, those shadow bows are going to open up, but double armor upgrade for the Arthedain men-at-arms, as long as, especially if we can get our shields on them. Right now we're not going to be, we're going to get shot in the back, because the guys want to instinctively face the outside, but, you know, yeah, still, that'll shrug off a lot of that damage. If we can start getting our own archers on the walls, that's absolutely fantastic. Really, really good little early game W's for the attackers. 2 for 2, so not really, yeah, like kind of far too early to really say anything too much. Little charge in here, looks like a few crossbowmen took a hit. A few Cardolan sharpshooters looks like, maybe even a gatekeeper. Yeah, a few gatekeepers went down, good charge. I was worried because, you know, we're seeing a lot of those Saberdrift Rider corpses there, but if we drop a few gatekeepers, that's not a bad shout. But again, this is just keeping Nuke back. It's just stopping his attack, stopping him attacking alongside his allies. Or in time with his allies. And those Saberdrift Riders just showing their resilience, I guess. Pulling back there. Oh, no. Still keen to go in again. So many dead cav. Those poor red shields got absolutely sliced and diced, didn't they? Alongside those Dunland scouts. Those mounted elven archers doing a really good job by the looks of things. The red shields pulling back, 37 of them still remaining. Those Dunland, ooh. Hopefully these rangers don't get spotted. Because, I mean, if you wanted to start charging, there's nothing else really guarding them here. Some of that cav would probably get quite aggressive in defense of them, but if they do end up getting spotted and get sort of charged up by the Saberdrift Riders and a few stalkers, that could be just a good deletion. Those tribal spears, yeah, dropped quite significantly. Killed off a few of the Arthedain spearmen, but can be pretty happy with that from the Arthedain spears. Over here, no charging going on just yet. Let's zoom into the minimap for a second. And there's so many different ways to approach this settlement. As I say, you've got to be careful how you do this, and you've got to make sure that you're doing it. It doesn't have to be perfectly in time, but you know, we need to be working alongside one another. We're going to go back to 1x speed now. Everything seems to be settled slightly. Hammering away on this door. The Rohirrim forces gone pretty, you know, let's say good and heavy into their infantry. We can see a lot of elite Westmark forces, Westmark spears, infantry, and those axemen, the marshals. So really going to be tough to match. Maybe not super heavy armor like the Western Kingdom of Men, but I mean those Westmark forces are nicely armored and they are quite skilled for sure.
Battering ram has done its work.
Battering going on through there, so now they've charging in as they want. Red Shield's coming back. Wanting to back up the rest of their push. He's lended his aid over to Cardolan a bit, but no, he's going to leave it to Hidden now. Oh! Looks like those Rangers were spotted, but it was a bit nasty, but not actually too bad from them. Now I wonder, did Hidden sort of make himself appear? Or did they spot them because they were hidden over here? Don't know. Don't know if those guys would have gotten close enough to reveal them without Hidden popping up. Nuke is advancing forward now. Still got some stalkers outside, which we need to be a little bit careful about. But those Cardolan archers should be more than capable of fending them off if they do approach. There's only 23 of them now left. So, yep, Lobot. Looks like he's been left to sort of defend this area by himself, which I think is a good idea. You can't have your defenders, you know, spreading themselves out too wide over the area. You know, it takes quite a while to... Well, it takes quite a while and takes a lot of focus to be spreading yourself out that much. Got some Dwarven Catapult Fire showing that exceptional range from the Dwarven Catapult. Going into the Dragon's Breath artillery piece, but instead just sort of striking the individual troops behind it. If the attackers can destroy that Dragon's Breath piece, then that would be absolutely fantastic for them. A lot of guys fall in here. It's probably from the Trebuchet by the looks of things. I think it's a nice carving shot there. Good to see, good to see. Well, from the attacker's point of view, of course. I never like to... I always end up sort of picking sides during the fight. I do tend to start rooting for an underdog or so on, but I'd like to think that I keep flipping back and forth. You know, it's nice to support people, but then you just kind of... You jump back and forth about it. Let's sit here for a minute while I take a cup of tea. So usually if you've got a bit of a pause in one of my videos, it is just me drinking something. Medexa coming forward. Saying this, we've left this whole area. The Orc fodder sat there. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I was going to say you get your archers to your right, you know, start shredding this, but it's Orc fodder. You don't really want to be shooting into the Orc fodder, no matter what. Over here, Y2K. Got his Dunnish warband. Preparing to barrel on through. No. Looks like they were thinking about it, but the Immortals are showing up against them. To be honest, the Immortals are really quite a nice counter, I think, to those Dunnish forces. Very lightly armoured wild men getting sliced up by those swords. So nice careful sword masters, two-handed. Well, no, two individual swords. But no, okay. Looks like, yeah, Johnny is holding himself back. But right now we're still just at this like gathering stage for the fight. Well, saying that, Hidden is not. Hidden is getting stuck in. That's a surprise. Okay, good. No, it's balanced now. I think that'll probably change to victory is certain in a minute. These spearmen just holding the line, really basically just tiring out the enemy forces while the slingers rattle shots into them. But I think the armoured up men-at-arms are just a great way to carve your way through fodder like this. Pushing in deep there. Oh wow, if Hidden could block that up and just devour these slingers and so on quite effectively, but no, the more disciplined Rhovanion forces of Rhovanion coming forward now, that's going to be a bit more difficult for these troops to get through. They may be spearmen, but it's yeah, it's gonna be tough. And Berserkers coming in too. Hurtum is not going to let this area. We were wondering sort of what was going to happen. Were we just going to be sacrificing this point? Certainly not now though. And definitely not while we're seeing the beasts coming down, beasts of Rorgoroth arriving now. Getting those javelins thrown out, the Golden Raiders. Okay, that was probably why Hidden was pulling back. That's an absolutely furious burn. Like one beast going down for sure, but that's a lot of Rhovanion burned. Yeah, very, very messy there. Poor Hurtum. And Golden Raiders pouring shots down now. Again, that's a high damage crossbow they've got. Just pouring shots in, and their slinger balls as well. Little stones getting chucked down. Hidden is not having a lovely time here, even with that sort of mighty strike. So he needs to be a bit careful. He can't lose all of his troops here, but at the same time, if you don't pour your boys in, then you're going to sort of just waste what you've got in here. Another good bar. What the heck was that? That bounced. There it is. It's coming down again. Oh no.
The battering ram has done its
Okay,
work.
and that is Cardolan finally arriving. Nuke over here. Finally sort of pulling up. Not his fault, of course. He was sort of getting held back by the enemy cav plays. He couldn't really risk just throwing himself in there willy-nilly. I love this. The thieves coming into the Elvelyn infantry should be an interesting fight. Okay, no, they're coming down. Kind of want some AP maybe up against the Elvelyn infantry. The siege tower is set up, and we're getting a lot of siege towers set up over here. I like that. I mean, if the Warhammers are getting stuck in straight away, I'm really chuffed to bits with that. They're exposing them to a lot of possible fire, but it's nice. Maybe even though Nuke is sort of the final attacker to maybe begin his assault, he might be coming in a lot harder than everybody else. Another good burn. Sorry we missed that, but you're seeing a lot more damage here for poor Hurtum. Johnny trying to sort of help out with the raiders still. A few more beasts slain. Another burn. More. It's just Levy skirms going down there. My gosh, man. If we got a break from them, that'd be such a shame for her to. Hidden just showing his discipline here. He's not backing down. He's not backing down, but he's not just charging in wildly as well. These poor guys that have just been stuck off in this little corner have just been getting gutted slowly too. The beasts are alive. Oh, that would be such a nice carve if that just hit slightly differently. But I think, oh, it's still going for... Oh, that was a perfect strike. 50 for 88 though. These things are sturdy. Oh, another one, another strike incoming. We'll have a look at that in a second. Ooh, miss. No dwarves. No, that's another miss. Just 2 strikes into that that slope. Pouring shots down into the Uruk-hai Raiders. Gonna have to slow down for a second here, just to make sure we're fully aware of what's happening across the battlefield. Clansmen alongside the Raiders, really loving this exchange. Because it's a 4v4, you're not really seeing, as I said at the start, you're not seeing the big sort of quality disparity between the attackers and defenders. So the defenders can't really just rely on, well, my troops are probably going to be better than theirs. You know, so you've got situations like this where the Uruk-hai Raiders are going toe-to-toe with, certainly not a fodder unit, but just a mid-tier unit, and they're grinding through them quite nicely. You can see over here the Dunnish Huntsmen have arrived, just sort of a little archer unit, but I mean, if they want to start opening up into the Narim, that would be pretty spicy. As an attacker, you... Ooh, it's kind of cool, they got like the 2 little blades. That's quite nice. Of course, right now they'd be wanting a shield. Uruk-hai Raiders, again here, doing really quite well in this little fight against the Immortals. That's nice to see. Usually, you know, the Uruk-hai Raiders are just sort of getting busted down in their fights, so it's nice to see them sort of performing quite well. Over here, Medexa is arriving as well. Again, those beasts from Tommy, they're getting around. They are trying to sort of show up just about every single battlefield. Still got their javelins to spend. And that's great to see from Medexa. Got his archers up on this wall. No clear target. I wonder if he's just opening up into the beasts. You know, if you can guarantee hits, I would kind of understand it. Those beasts are going to be able to take a lot of damage. I think that is what he's going for. So it'd be cool. We might, if we look back here and we do see a dead beast, you know, we know that was maybe worthwhile. But I mean, if you're missing, then you're probably going into an orc fodder. So, you know, at least you're not just wasting your ammunition. How's Cardolan doing? Getting stuck in? No, we're still... Oh, no, we're going in through the gate. Interesting. You see, of course, the gate's where you really want to be attacking, but given the situation and how many towers we've got set up, I really want to see this happening in time with each other. But nobody's climbing the towers right now, which I think is a bit odd. I like he does have his towers set up just to protect his lines from any catapult strikes or anything like that. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, it's fair enough, but I would really be wanting to sort of jump in everywhere at once. He still does have to, like, Lobot's got to keep these guys set up on the walls. He can't sort of pull them back, so they're keeping these units involved, or keeping them away from this front line. Luke seems to be having a good time either way. As he does sort of carve down. He's probably just worried if he fights up on the walls he's going to get shot to pieces, which is probably true. Over here, I think this is really where the bulk of the action, or not so much the bulk of the action, but the main deaths are happening over here right now with Hidden. And a few slingers getting some perfect shots into the backs of these poor Arthedain spears. Not a very high damage strike, of course, from the slingers, but it is AP. Rhovikin Phalanx there getting surrounded alongside the Berserkers. Those defenders of Foremost. Gold Slayers coming in now as well, and some Dunedain scouts even getting involved. But you can see Hidden he's spent a good bit of his resources over here. He's inflicted a lot of casualties and kept a lot of focus on him though. Over here, Johnny's been holding the line with these locked morale Immortals for as long as he can, but you can see the right flank of them has been broken now. No point in really flanking around to backstab these guys because, well, they're locked morale. You're not going to be able to get a break on them anyway, and you're just going to be exposing your backs to the Narim fire. So again, just more and more Immortals from Johnny, just bulking up and holding this line. That's quite cool to see. See the Immortals, of course, still just, well, quite fresh a new unit from this patch. Sorry, well, this version of the game. I don't want to say it's certainly not a patch, it's a whole new version. We have seen, yeah, okay, there is a fallen beast there. 2 fallen beasts, so we have, we dropped a few of them. Absorbed a lot of ammunition, no doubt, though. Are those helming us still have their bows out? I'm seeing some of their blades. But, I don't think those weren't maybe not the guys that were actually firing. I think the guys that were firing away have still got their bows out, so maybe didn't use up too much. Yeah, Tommy needs to... Right now he's happily sort of staring this down. Looks like the orc javelins are taking the fire now. Oh, dear. What was that? That was a good shot from the Dwarven catapult. Dwarven catapult, of course, it fires in a different way than your standard catapult. It goes up a lot higher than your standard shots, so you're able to sort of pull off stuff like that maybe a normal catapult wouldn't. Interesting. It's not quite like in the in Divide and Conquer, where it sort of it straight up strikes like a mortar, but it's still, I believe it's got a bit of a different arc to it. Those Dunnish huntsmen opening up. Oof, Narem just dropping like flies there. And poor Johnny can't really get them out or anything like that. This is it's quite a nice position. Well, of course, it's a very high damage position because you're either shooting them in the right flank or shooting them from behind. But to get that shot, you are so exposed. I quite like that. There's a lot of points in maps where you can kind of get a position like this without any risk to you. So it's nice that there's a bit of a punishment to it here. It's like, yes, you can stand your archers right there and get an absolutely beautiful strike on me, but it means that there's no escape from my shots. There, we have lots of corpses here from both sides. Hurton luckily able to rely on those Rhovanion rely on the tribal forces to kind of just soak up the damage for him and to soak up the losses, but we've seen a lot of Rhodican going down here too.
Our enemy has command of the castle.
Arthedain troops. A few berserkers still remaining. A few of those phalanx fighters still going down. 13 of them and still not broken. Very, very impressive. Over here. Nope, dead. No major, well, yeah, no break through the wall, of course. Up here, we've got the Cardolan men-at-arms clashing with the Elvelyn infantry. Very cool little matchup, both of course nicely armoured. Elvelyn troops, of course, maybe with a little bit more defence, melee defence, I believe. Oh, this guy is buying some gravity there. It looks like he's sort of carefully climbing a ladder. I wonder if he's going to keep getting higher. I think he's getting higher, isn't he? I think slowly he's moving, isn't he? I wonder where he'll get to. I'll try and keep an eye on him. Tharbad Tollkeepers there shaken from that poison arrow fire. Of course, Cardolan being a faction kind of a bit of a shaky morale at best at times. So that's a lot of poison arrow fire from the Bundy bows up there, shooting the backs of those Tharbad Warhammers too. Oh dear, wavering across the line. Those Greenway footmen would be very devastating them breaking here. But impressive to see. It's very damaging for the attackers, but impressive to see. We maybe need a little bit more support from them before they do break. What can we send in? Oh, dear me. I mean, not a huge amount of choice, is there? Cardolan is definitely... I think Cardolan can be incredibly impressive in a siege, but more so on a siege defense than a siege attack. I think the siege attack is kind of... certainly not their main strength. But I mean, they've got necessary tools. You just have to build them out a different way than you maybe want to. You can't go as deep into your crossbows as perhaps you want to, because you need some more infantry to mix it up. Still some more men-at-arms from hidden here. More Arthedain pikes coming in. Looks like these guys have maybe returned from routing. Some of them are pretty badly damaged but wounded. Dunland Rangers, we can jump up on that wall maybe from hidden. Perhaps he just doesn't need to. But it looks like that is saying that. No, he's still got stuff. He's still got stuff. I'm about to count him out. He's still got his High Lords. He's got his Trebuchet team as well. You know, it's he's certainly not out of this fight. But he's been inflicting a lot of casualty. But he has been losing a lot. 29 for 31. That's actually really good for the attackers. As I say, as an attack, as a defender, you almost, you never want to be down no matter what. But as an attacker, you can always accept being a little bit down, especially until about 50%. You know, until about 50%, you're gonna be down as an attacker. That's just usually the way it goes. But no, it's whenever you're high though, that's fantastic. Over here, Medexa, take quite a careful approach. Looks like he's just still, holding fire for now. Helmingus out of ammo. These Helmingus holding fire. Those guys still have their swords out, so maybe they have used up their ammo. Dwarven Catapult coming around. Yeah, it looks like he's entering with that, just kind of like baiting them. I mean, if Tommy wanted to try and make a push for that, he'd suffer a lot of casualties doing it. And with the amount of, but what can he do? Because that's going to get sat right there. It's going to be he's going to have a perfect shot down his lines. It's going to be a bit scary, certainly. Back to 1x speed there. A little bit of a stutter from the Dragon's Breath, it looks like. It's causing that. A little bit of damage to these huntsmen, maybe, but nothing too dramatic. We are damaging that wall, actually. Dragon's Breath Cannon doesn't really do very much damage to damaged walls. It does do some, but very, very little. So you can safely fire upon your own walls with that, but of course right now it doesn't really matter if he breaks that or not. 50% damage for 88, so that's the same as, 50% damage and 88% damage on the Dragon's Breath Cannons. So that's the same as it was before. They've not suffered any more strikes. Let's try and catch one of them. Aye. No, see, I think, is it the Huntsman that he's going for? I mean, that siege... Oh, funny. Haha, no. He's going for the siege tower. That's quite fun.
Chance for us to regain control of the castle.
Probably just something Y2K's not spotted yet. It could be an interesting bait. Because Y2K knows his stuff. He probably knows how many strikes that takes to bring down the siege tower. But because if you could take that out, then all those Ravenborn are dead. But it just might not be... I mean, if it takes too many shots from the Dragon's Breath, it just might not be worth it. Another shot coming in. Okay. You see, that's 20%. Okay. Now, if Y2K is spotting this, if he's watching this carefully, then you might just want to, take one more shot and then just get your boys out. But it's too much risk for me. I probably wouldn't do it. Over here, Hartum's breaking in some areas. He's sort of defended this area really quite valiantly, inflicted a lot of casualties and helped by his allies, of course, but inflicted a lot of casualties on Hidden. But it is time for him to maybe fall back or consider falling back. Well, because he doesn't have too much more to send in, does he? Nuke still over here. Very dense forces of Cardolan men at arms, grinding away. Doesn't look like maybe these guys were actually the ones fighting on the walls. Not seeing as many corpses, so they maybe did just fight on the walls for a bit and then charge down to assist on the main gate. Over here, Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad involved in the fight there too. Okay, nothing coming on this position. There's 2 units of Wardens, so that's 79. I think 79, okay, no, it's the same unit. It's just a few of them didn't pull back, it looks like. Cardolan archers set up. See, I worry maybe Nuke has gone slightly too hard into his range power, which is what you would of course want to do as a Cardolan defender. But a Cardolan attacker, maybe he's just got slightly too much range power. And he's struggling for that now. But those Cardolan sharpshooters are just about as good in melee as anybody. Because he's got that little AP mace. Artem standing by. Over here, opening up into, again, Y2K's troops. Oh! How did this go? No! The Ravenborn! Oh, Y2K, I'm sorry. That section of wall actually broke as well, goodness sake. A lot of burning going on in this area, dearie me. So that sucks because Ravenborn are, of course, really quite a power for Dunland. To lose just about a full unit of them like that is a stinger. But that did use up a lot of ammunition from the Dragon's Breath, so swings and roundabouts. By the way, Y2K has been spurred into action with fury with that as he comes charging on forward. Those Narim still active. Clansmen How much more do you have left, YJK? Still quite a bit. Pikemen there. Still some wardens. And his mounted wardens too. Okay, and there is still a nice... 2 more beefy units of Ravenborn sat ready over here. Looks like they're positioned to go and assist Arthedain, which is quite a good move. Of course, Arthedain's struggling when it comes to doing AP damage, so having something like the Ravenborn ready to come in and back them up is a good shout. Oh yeah, 38 for 40. Okay, so still attackers are up, which is damn good for them. There. Over here, victories are not certain for the men at arms. That's quite good. Line's starting to get quite thin here, but that's because these infantrymen have been pulled out. So pulled out, reorganised, given them a bit of a rest, which is cool to see. That's one, as much as I adore Medieval 2, of course, I think it's by far my favourite Total War game, but one thing that I do wish was slightly different about it was just units at standard got their energy back a little bit faster. You know, they tend to tire out very slowly, which I think is great. But you know, pulling a unit out like this, I think is a very difficult thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to sort of achieve, and I think you should sort of be rewarded for it a bit by them resting slightly faster. Looks like Nuke is sort of wanting to get the boys out. And that's because of these River Patrol, I believe. River Patrol turning up and sort of wanting to get those Tharbad Warhammers out of there to avoid those hits. Yeah, archers having to sort of take whatever shot they can really get here, just sort of up and over into the Glade Guard. To be honest, not doing too bad. Nah, maybe not. By the way, yeah, you've got to use your ammunition. You can't just have it wasted, but or lost really. Sometimes you just gotta sort of take whatever strike you can get. Trebuchet moving up, and again, it's I love the aggression from the attackers' artillery pieces here. Oh, whoa, okay. Rohan is let me zoom out a little bit. Goodness sake, Rohan is going deep here into Tommy's lines. Absolutely surrounded there. Poor Mordor's position, getting shots into it with some fire ammunition from the shadow bows, but Modex has come at him pretty hard. Of course, Rohan fits in nicely with the Western Kingdoms, but it does have a bit of that tribal aggression in it. You know, they are still slightly wild, or slightly more wild than most Western Kingdoms, so they can pull off some stuff like this quite nicely. They are really sort of surprised those Halberds are actually standing their ground. But Modexa is not done as he's chasing down the Executioners. The Executioners not turned around to sort of deal with him here. Alongside the Javies. Oh, goodness me. Troll Catapults. That's not fun. Oh, that would not be fun to advance down. Getting blasted by the catapult the whole way. But tucked in just here, Modexa is actually safe. If this fight was happening just here instead, I'm sure Tom would be loving it. With the damage he can do from that catapult. I do love that this settlement can kind of be divided up into little sections, you know, and so even though one section can kind of be lost, there's still all the other little bridgeways and choke points that can hold it. Flag Rim battering into the Dunnish forces. Bit of a shame to be using that AP up against them, but somebody's got to be holding the line, and the Flag Rim is the best thing for it right now. But they'll be getting grinded down. Over here, hidden, holding his ground, which is certainly, I don't think it's a bad move from him. He's taken his early section here, and he's suffered a lot for it, and say he's done a great job, but he does need to just take a breather and let his allies do some work for a little while. We do have some breaks going on over here from Cardolan though. He's had a tough fight of it, but I think it's just, I think Cardolan is a tough army to use on the attack. Those thieves, I mean they've got, because everything can shoot, not everything, but so much, either shoot or throw or. You know, so we're needing this to get used up, and we've just not been given a great opportunity to do that. But yeah, Gatekeeper sat here as well. Let's see, I don't see Newt getting through that right now. And that's going to mean that Dorwinion can start sending some stuff over. But saying that, I mean, Dorwinion hasn't been. Not very much at all. So although Newt may not be really gaining much ground, he is still inflicting some casualties, and he's keeping basically the entirety of Dorwinion's focus on him. Wasn't a big fireball. I don't know how. Well, that was a miss, unfortunately. I don't know how effective that last shot was. It's always quite nice when they use fireball, because you can clearly just see all of the recent bodies that were created. But yeah, because he's forcing Medexa to spread out, so obviously it's a bit scary for him. And the dwarves have responded, burning some javelins and lighting one of the catapults on fire, so that he's down to one catapult now. Bit of a stinger. Tommy should be able to still use the other one. How much ammunition? Ooh. I was wondering how much ammo do we still have with that? That could be it though, but no, definitely not. A little bit of a crisscross miss from the dwarves there. I'm wondering if they've still got some more. Still got some more. If we can bring that catapult down, then the attackers will be loving it. It looks like Tommy has, he's wanting to get himself out of that firing arc. Because he is the troll catapult does move really quite quickly. Trolls don't have too much trouble pushing an artillery piece like that. Yeah, so that's him tucked down and heading away now. 49 for 50. Certainly no shame in falling back now from the defenders, and they may want to consider doing it. So you get a break through here, something things could turn spicy quite quick. But it is always, it's the retreats where you are, suffering these casualties. So if it's not carried out properly, then it will be devastating. Looks we've got a bit of a break through the Cardolan lines. Warns the Tyr and Gorthad back in action, alongside the Warhammers. Firepower coming into them. Okay. But again, he's kind of just got to leave so many troops here, because if he leaves a gap in the wall, suddenly these archers are up, the sharpshooters are up, everything is going to get devoured very, very quickly. And then yeah, we're open to a tremendous amount of damage. Dorwinion looks like he's already kind of organising back here a little bit. Maybe he's going to be willing to sort of give some ground soon. And once he starts giving ground, then yeah, he can start pouring more shots. He already has been doing it. Those Merquindi bows are actually out of ammunition. Over here as well, these... No, they've still got some. Right, okay. I would maybe love to see a little bit more assassin from Dorwinion coming over here. Maybe I'm just... Yeah. But, those beasts still buzzing around. How is Rohan doing? From Modexa. Okay, no gathering. Still got that catapult. Okay, we're pushing. Holy smokes. The Rohirrim cannot be stopped here, as these Mark Spears have started to make their way forward. Run into a few maybe bugged or routing units, it looks like. I think, are they setting up to start throwing some of their little javelins, perhaps? Oh, Orc Fodder moving forward to meet them. I mean, Modex is probably happy enough to have that fight. You won't really, with armor upgraded East Mark Spearmen, you probably won't take too many casualties against the Orc Fodder. Especially with some marshals mixed in amongst it. You should be fine. Over here, Y2K has successfully sort of pushed through the Gaffolk Axe Guard, mixing in amongst those lines too. I think an armor upgrade for those Axe Guard as well. Looks like they've been free to pick their targets. A few of them going into the front of the flag rim. They'll take that damage quite nicely. But high damage arrow is always going to suck, especially the beasts might die to that quite quickly. Troll Slayers over here. We've got the Ravenborn. Yeah, the Ravenborn have come in to mixing up with Hidden too. Staring down Hurtum. Looks like, yeah, we are pulling back now. I think that's probably a good idea. A little bit of damage from some artillery. It's probably the Trev, I'd assume. It's being pulled back, but it looks like everybody's gathering up behind the secondary wall now, which I think is a good idea. You definitely don't want this wall to be getting attacked while you're still mucking about out here, because that can start, that can really start causing problems. Especially if somebody gets a lucky break in your secondary line. More javelins coming out from the beasts. Tommy just wanting to make sure that every single one of those javelins is used. They do have a lot of ammunition, but you so frequently see them not get all used. It's one of the Dragon's Breath down, but the other one is still active. But it's the one with 88 health remaining. So I'm sure Johnny's quite pleased to get at least one piece out. And to be honest, I don't mind losing one artillery piece because it lets you kind of maneuver the remaining one quite freely. It's a much smaller unit at that size, so you can kind of squeeze it into gaps that maybe you couldn't have before. But it does make it a bit more risky to use. Cardolan archers coming forward here to trying to fire. They're trying to use their ammunition point blank with these elves. Dearie me. Again, I can understand the frustration from Nuke, but maybe what could have been a better shout is just trying to send a unit or two around. I know it's a very long way. Me sending a unit or two of archers around to back up hidden. I mean, of course, Dorwinion would have sent something over them to match that, but perhaps would have been a bit better. So I think these poor archers, unless they've used up all of their ammunition already, or the vast majority of it, I just don't know if this is helping us very much. But you can see Lobot has continued to sort of bring his troops back. Over here, yeah, these infantrymen sort of pulling back. He's having quite a nice ordered retreat, which is great to see from him. As yeah, his troops will be sort of ready to answer to anything back here. They can sort of reinforce his allies quite quickly now. Oh, the Riddermark skirms are through. Oh, fantastic. Of course, devastating for the defenders here. Broken Raiders, dearie me. As Medexa is showing, like, yeah, really loved Medexa's aggression throughout this whole fight. It's been really, really fun to watch. And yeah, he's been barreling in. He's caught some of these routing golden boys from Johnny. Y2K is rushing forward in to match alongside the Rohirrim. God, we're going to get some... If we get some nasty breaks, this is going to be absolutely horrific. Ravenborn, fantastic, and hidden. Seeing his chance of coming forward now too. Very, very cool. Very devastating for the defenders, but yeah. Maybe we should have fallen back in a little bit earlier, but I think we were trying to, and this is basically just, you know, Medexa saw his opportunity. He saw that the lines were quite thin due to the retreat. A lot of damage down. Oh dear me, good strike onto the beasts there. Don't think we can't have too many more beasts left. I'm surprised that capital still has ammunition. Can't have much. Yeah, Medexa is coming forward here. Of course, his own catapult has kept the troll catapult from being a real threat to him. Only one beast remaining, and it is bloodied. Goodness me. I'm glad that Tommy got one out there, though. That's good. Over here, Troll Slayers. Great aggression from the Troll Slayers. Just not wanting these guys to escape. I wonder if they're going to close that door. These guys a bit too close, maybe? They're going to try and get a javelin through it, maybe. Because that gate can close. They're going to get some javelins through. No. No, I think Hidden's got them. He doesn't have them on fire. Well, by the looks of things. So no, they're just sat there. But we could be pouring javs in there. Certainly good. And then with that, I think Dorwinion will be almost fully gone from here. He's leaving Blade Guard behind. I think they'll just be the rear guard. Maybe these guys up here just to make sure that nobody climbs up onto the walls. There's nothing over here. This is really, yeah, I'd want to get those sharpshooters up there. I know that thing is they'll climb up there, they'll just immediately start getting shot at, but I'd probably just want to get them up there now too. Looks like Lobot is going to pull these infantry back now, and he might go for a run. He might just try and get out of there. Especially, to be honest, the Blade Guard are quite a good rear guard unit because they're an elf. They're this lightly armed elf. They can escape quite quickly. And even these Elvillan infantrymen should be able to outpace the pursuing Cardolan forces. Unless they start getting, not bugged, but if they start sort of turning around to engage the troops that are attacking them from behind. Let's just sit here for a minute while I have some tea. Oh, nice. No. Thieves trying to engage. I think Lobot's done quite nice. I think this has worked out quite nicely for him. So if he does lose a unit just being rear guard, it is what it is. I think he's gotten a lot of guys out. I think he's inflicted a lot of casualties. The only problem is Cardolan's still got a lot of ammo. So if we make some sort of screw up and we allow them to get into a nice position, start rattling on this crossbow fire, it is going to be over quick. Over here, Burrick infantry from Tommy, staring down these Rohirrim. Those Rohirrim have been an absolute thorn for Tommy for a long time now. They've pulled some absolutely crazy maneuvers. Sauron's well standing guard there too. X has got, he does have power left. He really does. For as much as he's been doing, he still does have a lot left. I think Y2K has been bleeding. Hedon's been bleeding. It is going to largely come down. Oh goodness sake! I mean, is it going to come down to those Rohirrim forces? 54 for 58. So again, attackers are ahead. I mean, Hedon's got a few guys left. Yeah, he's not as helpless as we maybe think. There's 19 crossbowmen here, armor upgrade for them. They've probably got most of their units worth of ammunition. They're just on fire at will right now, just rattling to anything they can see, I think. If I had much with them, that's just what I would be doing. I wonder, yeah, Ram should be able to move through that. Shouldn't have a problem. That would be such a stinger if we couldn't get a Ram set up there, though, because of the destroyed Dragon's Breath. Still do have that Dragon's Breath, though, which is positioned. Ooh, now the boys will know this. They will know that can fire. If that's what they want to do. Of course, he might just be hiding there. That just might be where Johnny's decided to tuck it in. So Nuke can finally start sort of coming in now. But can't really do too much here. Yeah, these boys, generally they got back safe. Like, the only thing Nuke could have maybe done is try to get on the walls and shoot them, give them a volley or two as they were retreating. But yeah, still, he has gained this ground, and it's been very hard fought, as he is. There's a lot of purple boys here. He's been inflicting a lot of casualties on them as he's been pushing. But yeah, it's how can he use his ammunition? That's really the thing for Nuke now. And are the defenders going to allow him to do that? Maybe get your shooters here. Maybe rattle shots into this, perhaps. We'll see. We'll see what he tries to do. We'll see. Because there's going to be the temptation, because he's alone over there. So if things start to go okay over here, the temptation might actually be, I do see that little Rohirrim push. The temptation might actually be to sally out and get stuck in and try and kill him that way. But that's risky. We'll see what they do. But X is getting stuck in with the Westmark infantry. Right now they're having a great time up against the Orc fodder, but ooh, javelins coming in. It looks like we're sort of doing a little pull back. The infantry are pulling back, the spears are not. Oh no, spears. No, it is just the infantry pulling out, the spears are staying. Tribesmen are set up there. Johnny's ready to start pouring javelins onto them. So, the defenders still have a lot of ammunition too, though, to be honest. Not seeing a ram coming forward here from Hedon. Do you have any sort of ram advancing? Ravenborn, Beastmen. Oh yeah, shoot, the Beastmen of Dunland. I've not really been watching any of them. Probably they were getting involved. No. Oh, rams. Let's get something. Oh no, there he is. Yep, the YGK is answering the call. He's got his ram coming forward. There. Here, some Dunish huntsmen as well. They've got their little blades out. I don't know. They might be done as well. Yep, still just crossbows there from Y2K, not from Y2K, sorry, from Johnny. Did they just pull out a blade? No. Over here. Little clash. Yes, but I don't know, it's not really going in Medex's favour. I suspect that will change. Okay, cool. Yep, we've got the Helmingus coming in, Marshals coming forward. Okay. So then, we just has to be a little bit careful. There is that catapult there, which can do some great damage to him if he's not careful with what he's showing it. Duke's sitting up. Yeah, okay, so he's in this position that I kind of thought he would. Is it working? I'm going to try and actually see what these guys are shooting at. No, of course, like, it's one of course, the later Total Wars, you've got a big emphasis on, a pause there or something, but as I was saying, with the more modern Total Wars, you've got the shooting effect is so much more, the trails on the arrows is much more prevalent, which I get why they've done that. This is interesting. So Johnny's actually sending shadow bows over here. Maybe he's just using this as space, but I'm really surprised to see more troops coming this way. Maybe, yeah, okay, cool. The only justification I'd say for this is maybe you're sending archers over here, and then Lobot is going to send out of ammunition troops back over here to the front lines. That's something I could definitely accept. You know, you're wanting some of these shadow bows over here to start shooting down at the. Oh, good hits, man. Yeah, very nice. This is sort of what I was looking for, and this is just absolutely fantastic. Nuke has been wanting to use these guys for a really long time, and he's finally being able to. This is really where you kind of also want ladders. Well, saying that, I don't know. Sometimes with second lines, you can't even get your ladders on them. You of course couldn't get siege towers. You shouldn't get siege towers to the gate, and we've not broken a hole. But if you had a ladder, maybe you can get along here. I know some maps that's just not possible. But yeah, great to see what Johnny is doing over here. And if we are seeing some troops getting sent in, yeah, a lot of these purple boys are making their way over. That's great. Nice communication from the boys. Let's see, with all these fights, whenever you're really seeing a lot of these, like Tommy, Dexa, Hidden, and so on, you can usually assume this fight is being done in one of their discords. So they're all speaking to each other. Both friendlies and enemies are usually in the same channel, which is usually good for the memes off it, of course. And means that everybody has some communication. Well, I'm very surprised. Of course, Westmark Spears, you're expecting some good morale from them, but down to the last 5 men here is really impressive. Especially because they're just being able to have these little. They're not really being bundled up there. It's happening now, but they had a good little while where they were just stabbing away freely. Shield Maidens throwing their little axes through the doorway, 8d4 of them. Hopefully that ammunition may use quite, well, we're not just sending our axes into the walls, but it doesn't look like it. Everything seems to be feeding its way through here. Of course, you wouldn't really, as a defender, you wouldn't be wanting to use your axes like that, but as an attacker, you kind of just have to take what you can get, as I often say. Over here, another clash between Hurton and Hidden is going to be happening. Ooh. Some rotting meat coming all the way over and actually getting some hits there, dearie me. It's gonna, like, it will kill people. If you get hit by a flying cow, it will hurt you. You need to be a bit careful as an attacker, but usually as a good attacker, you know, as a, like, especially Cardolan, I guess, low morale, but usually as like good forces, your morale's a bit higher than most evil defenders, because this is a bit of a mixed thing, and also you've got Cardolan over there. Because this effect is going to linger. Oh dear, we need to be careful, because that might actually have the morale debuffing effect. If I was Nuke, I'd probably just ask, like, yeah, you know, hold fire. Don't be doing that right now, please. But that does mean that's probably out of ammunition from the Trem, if they are using that. Oh, looks like Y2K is getting sent on in. He's maybe want to use his throwing axes if they've still got ammo. Okay, no, the Treb is getting sent. They're going to try and use the Trebs like a battering ram. Sometimes you can see that happen. I think that is what it looks like. That's what they're doing. Just trying to like break up the formation a little bit. Sort of means that the defenders can't hold it as this sort of straight line. It's interesting. Very interesting. I'm surprised they were being able to push it that deep in. Goodness me. Okay. Wow. Usually it would be stopped by now. But no, they've decided to get all the way through. Very odd. No, we're happy enough with that. Yep, cool, that's fine. Over here again, yeah, I mean, I guess this is just really the attackers now trying to make sure they've used up all their ammo. Because they had quite a good early aggression, they've got a lot of their ammunition to spend, and they're wanting to just make sure they do that.
The battering ram has done its
work. We've got another entrance into this second line. It certainly isn't the last line of defense. You can fall all the way back to here if you want to. I do love this sort of the statue there. It's very cool. I do wonder where the main breach is going to come from. I think it just now that we're down to sort of 3 entrances, and the attackers are, you know, they're definitely down some troops. We do need to make sure that we're coming in really together. Yeah, that Treb, I mean, it's not been used the way I expected it to be, but I don't know what Hidden was sort of aiming with it, but I think he was just trying to sort of use it as a bit of a battering ram, but just didn't really expect it to go all the way in like that. By the way, that's now, oh dear me, the poor Trebuchet team has been getting sliced and diced there. They look very, very cool. but they're not quite as badass as they as their sort of armor and weapon sort of makes them out to be. But I mean, they're dropping people. They are definitely they're getting some work done, which is cool to see. But they do, let's see, they do die quite quick. Axe guard there, just trying to use their ammo. I'm guessing this is probably going to be the case for a few thousand frames. Just the attackers trying to sort of angle themselves properly. The defenders trying to make sure that they're not suffering. Interesting. We seem to be pulling, well, we're pulling everything back and away from like Cardolan crossbows. Some nasty casualties there. A few more shots in there too. But it looks like, yeah, everybody's just trying to pull their way back. What are we at now? 61% for defender casualties. You can maybe, yeah, like, you wouldn't be too surprised to see them falling back to the final defensive line. But hopefully they stick around out here for a little bit longer. Oh, Dwarven catapult showing itself as well. Did I hear burning? I thought I heard burning for a minute. Something has inflicted a lot of casualties on these guys, but no. What's happening with this catapult then? Again, I think Medexa is probably just out of ammo and he's just sort of shunted that forward. No, I think, as I say, we're just sort of staring down right now. Dwarven catapult crew coming forward again. I mean, a pretty skilled unit. Certainly the only dwarves on the field today. Certainly going to be a bit menacing to get through. Sauron's Will, though, should make very quick work of them.
The enemy's walls.
Oh, Eastron crossbows as well, blasting into them. Okay, looks like we're slamming ourselves into the front there. Again, this is really putting ourselves at risk of a little backstab by the Sauron's Will. Or maybe that's what Medex is trying to bait out of him. Okay, no. Okay, Medex is getting sucked in quite heavily now. Are we seeing that done from the Dunlanding Arthedain sort of alliance there? Okay, no, I know. I thought those boys were climbing up. The thing is, you could actually run over here and climb up onto this section, or maybe the center section. Means that you'll probably just get attacked in melee, of course, or shot up on the walls, but it's an option. Rhovanion nobles standing their ground there. Nothing, you know, too crazy, but it's a bodyguard, sword and board. Ruffians coming forward. You can see those ruffians do have their javelins in hand. And get those boys on the walls. That could be really nice. Cardolan archers, I suspect, are fully out of ammunition. Oh, is that what we're doing? Are we trying to get through there? No. I think Nuke is just trying to spread them out, trying to get their ammunition used. Sharpshooters still with their bows out. Yeah, no, those ruffians are being pulled back. I think the only option would have been to maybe try and squeeze them in here, but I think it was too big. Yeah, it was definitely too big a unit to do that. And squeezing them over here, they would just get in contact with the shadow bows before long. Or before they were able to shoot anything. Hopefully those ruffians don't break. But a little countercharge, maybe if we're not careful, we might end up exposing ourselves to those sharpshooters who could definitely hurt us. And now, if Cardolan can't pressure them here, like now they've not left much back. It's a few guys, but if Lobot is able to hold them back, and of course a little bit of assistance from Joni, but if the two of them are able to keep back Cardolan, then and just mean that the defenders can only focus their full efforts over here, it can be very tough for the attackers to breach it. Lightning coming on forward, jabbing away at the berserkers. Oh dear me, and the phalanx here. This is messy. This is very messy for the attackers. Troll slayers jumping up onto the walls here. Nice to see. I'm expecting they're going to pull out their javelins in a second into the berserkers. And hopefully you don't end up throwing javelins into your own trebuchet. That'd be a shame. Not really for the worry of destroying it, but for the worry of it soaking up ammo. Yeah, they're going into the berserkers. A few, yeah, you can see a few of these jabs unfortunately going into the treb. Quite a few of them, that's a shame, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, I think he's changed his target now. Instead, for the Scion Rhun. Just trying to deal with some of those heavily armoured golden boys. Oh, poor Eastmark spears coming forward, taking javelins. Aldroth tribesman javelins. Not really the target you want to go for, but I think right now Tommy just needs to sort of put a stop to this attack. You can see up on those walls, those Eastmark spears have managed to take a good position. Now we saw in that free-for-all as well. Eastmark Spears, of course, not a very high damage javelin, but it's a lot of javelins coming at you. A very large unit of javelins getting chucked in. Only sort of 2 volleys, I believe they've got, unless that's been changed, but still. Very messy. Helmingus Ravenborn over here. It's nice to see Y2K just sort of jumping in on both the attacking fronts. And again, Medex is showing his aggression, sort of just barreling through the open lines there. Getting into the back of this defence on this end, which is holding out really quite nicely, but if we have to start worrying about getting attacked from behind, actually saying that, there's a lot of power here. Arthedain, Pikes, Ravenborn, and those High Lords arriving out on the Beastmen too. Yeah, this is going to be faltering shortly, and especially if we're having to worry about getting backstabbed by the Dunnish forces and the Rohirrim. Oh, it's nice to see the Rohirrim and the Dunlandings fighting side by side over this point. Ouch. A lot of pressure coming into these poor Eastmark Spears, but, I mean, again, if I was Modexa, I'd be happy enough with that. You know, seeing these guys take the hits instead of something more valuable is definitely a good shout. Now, this is a proper push on that end, though. Is that being sort of matched over here? Not that, I mean, Luke doesn't really have that much to do so. You know, it's really is it's a tough situation for him. The only choice at this point is I guess just to try and barrel your way through and just try and clean the walls. Yeah, just sort of go all in, and just whatever is engaged in melee is engaged in melee, and just try and spread them out so that somebody gets a chance to shoot. But that really is it's kind of a one-time plan. Shadowbows here pouring fire ammunition into the landings. Those Dunnish pikemen, right in the hits, of course. More troll slayers popping up on these walls. Wardens of the North over here taking a beating. That's a shame. I love how close they are. The Shadowbows and the Wardens just standing basically side by side, both just firing away. But now getting charged in. Taking that fire from the Temple Guard. I wonder if that was a little exchange. It does look like it. We had some armor-piercing fire being exchanged from these two sort of Master Bow units. But unfortunately, the Wardens of the North look like they came out far worse from it. Perhaps because they were sort of more tightly packed together on that wall. But we are seeing yet more of these Beastmen of Dunland charging on forward there with those like sort of claws that they've got. The sort of half berserker type units sort of coming in to tear apart these lines, moving in again alongside the Helm's Hammers. Great to see the Dunnish forces alongside the Rohirrim. It's a nice sort of mix up, and yeah, just sort of charging through the lines without anything really to stop them. Yeah, at this point, I think the defenders need to be considering just a final retreat to the inner walls at this point. Shadowbows coming in, trying to sort of back up the lines. Full units of Gamp Rim coming over here to make sure the Dragon's Breath gets out safe. And make sure that these crossbows can get used. What are we at now? 72 for 74. Bit nasty now. Getting very... Ooh, ruffians. Are you just having to... Yeah, you're having to just send your javelins straight up and over. How is that going? I mean, a tightly packed unit like this... Okay, we're getting most of them are hitting. They're going to be able to shrug off that from... Because if it's coming from above, it kind of still counts as the front, I believe. So they're
only half the enemy force remains.
They should be able to shrug off that damage, not too bad. Blade Guard remaining. Over here, yeah, that Dragon's Breath is going to get back out, get to safety. Shadowbows, they did come down to try and sort of rescue some of those Rhovanion maybe, but no, they've been chased away now by the Helm's Hammers. See that, well, I don't know quite what their mass value is, the Helm's Hammers. They do tend to get used for that shield wall push, but I don't really know if that comes along with a higher mass, or if that's just what tends to occur. But they've been throwing around a few of those runic forces. The out of ammunition Golden Raiders now coming in to try and hold these charging forces back. More pushes getting committed by the Helm's Hammers here. As Hertum is just sort of making what I think is his last stand. I don't really know I don't think he's got anything left now. As much of a beating as those wardens took, they're still pretty healthy, as they've just been slicing and dicing through the shadow bows from one side while the Ravenborn come at them from the other. To be honest, I would have expected the shadow bows to do quite well up against the Ravenborn, who are of course coming in with that heavy axe. Rangers are usually relying on a good defensive skill, but the shadow bows are one of the more well-armoured archers, so, well, well-armoured rangers, so maybe that's, I don't quite know what their defensive skill comes along with that. Over here, the Ravenborn again, breaking into the strong crossbows. We've got to hope, as a defender, we've really got to hope that these guys have used up most of their ammo by this point. Because, yeah, we're getting a lot of our archers. Because of that sudden push, that aggression there, that's allowed the attackers to really cut off a lot of that defending range power. And looking at this, I mean, what do we have? Still, like, Lobot is relatively healthy. He's got a lot of his power left, but I worry what they've got left in the tank for rangers, or well, for ranged units. Oh, there is still Glade Guard, Hammer Guard, Glade Masters, a fearsome Dragon's Breath cannon, of course, and we've not seen those Sapphire Bladesmen use their ammunition either. So, okay, cool. Still got some tools. Still got a lot of cool tools to use. Much of a push here from the Cardolan forces. Those ruffians look like the ruffians sort of popped in to try and push back those purple boys alongside some Tharbad Warhammers, but they've been pushed away again. So again, I mean, perhaps Nuke is just going to be hoping to save those ranged units, waiting until the defenders do pull back to that final point, because once they do, to be honest, he can set up his crossbows as ranged units sort of over here, and he can probably get a pretty decent arc into them, say either as they're defending the walls or as they're nearby the walls. So it's going to force them to defend all the way back here, which is going to be a bit spicy, especially if they well, it's either going to force them to defend all the way back here or hug against the walls. They're not really going to be able to use their own walls for shooting the attackers. Flag ground over here. Yeah, some Dunland scouts from Hidden. Forgotten about by the looks of it. Slice down. Don't think there's a few little holdouts we're seeing, but nothing too solid to speak of. A few Rhovanion nobles. Oh, I love that. Little sort of back, absolutely just backs to the walls, going toe to toe with the High Lords of Numinous there. They'll inflict a little bit more damage. Hopefully they can kill a few more of these boys, but outnumbered by something like that, especially with Troll Slayers getting involved too, it's not going to be good. Oh, Hidden does not want to. Oh, I don't think Hidden wants to finish them off because he's getting shot in the back by the Temple Guard. I see. So they're going to leave it to the Troll Slayers. Oh no, Troll Slayers as well. Yeah. What are we going to do with Hurt him here? Something needs to kill this. Dunland Rangers maybe with those heavy axes perhaps, but hurt him. I don't, at this point, if I was hurt him, I don't know what the heck I would do with that unit. You're pretty much just waiting for somebody to try and take you out. You can't really get out of there, so you're just sort of gonna have to wait and see who wants to take you on. Little gathering of the boys. There's still a good bit of power. What are we at? 78 for 80%. Still, it seems like the attackers have always been that little just 2% ahead. They've never really been able to climb ahead too significantly, but as an attacker, even just being a little bit ahead is always good. Oh, poor mounted Raven, poor mounted Warden is getting brought down there. Those crossbows are going to be very tough to deal with now, especially because the defenders just don't have that much in the way of ranged power. If Nuke just had just one more unit of pikes just to get them stuck in, but of course, yeah, Lobot does not. He's not even letting him take any sort of ground. He's slamming himself straight in now. Those sharpshooters, though, with those maces, they're gonna be tough. That's the thing that I like about Cardolan. Even, it's just about all of your range power is effective in melee. That's one of the things that makes them so powerful as a defender. Let me just take a sniff onto them. I just feel like I've got a constant cold. I don't know, this whole, past year, I've felt like I've constantly been ill. Throwing the javelins up. Yeah, very little accuracy there. Few rogue hits coming in, but nothing too much. too effective now. Maybe it was just because Nuke sort of pushed himself in, pulled out. Didn't really give the boys too much of a chance to fight, but if you just had a ladder, I'm sure you can't, but if you were just able to climb up onto this area, I don't think you can on this map though. Let's say sometimes the secondary walls are just unmountable. There's 3 men left. Can they still push that? You'll need 3 guys, I thought. They're standing next to it. Hidden's trying to make them get on it, but no, I don't think it's happening. Over here. Little attack. Westmark infantry going up against the Alvelin infantry would normally be a good fight for Westmark, but there's not. Well, there's no support behind them. But right now it seems really they're just there to engage these guys so that the Mountain Ravenborn can get shots in. You can see here that we're kind of unloading on this, so I'm getting the impression the attackers still have got quite a lot of ammo that they need to use, so they are just picking their targets pretty freely. Shield Maidens here as well. They've got their axes in throwing position. They save that last axe for melee, of course. But they're just sort of, again, anything that shows their face will be axed down. Maybe these orc javelins will be unlucky for that. No, Shield Maiden's not going for it. Westmark Marshals should happily gut this down. Javelins coming into the Westmark Spears. But, I mean, they'll shrug off most of that damage. That heavy shield that they have is going to be very, very good. Down to 78 now. For the Alvelin. Thieves are coming forward. They're an assassin. As long as they don't get shot at, they'll do pretty well in this fight. Before the thieves were, a proper ranged, before they could actually throw their little knives and so on. I swear they used to have anti-armor, and they were absolutely brutal. They were real killers in melee. But now, of course, they're much more in line with your standard assassin. Just outnumbering that poor Alvelin infantryman, slicing him down. The gatekeepers is, armored up. I can't really tell. Can you armor up gatekeepers anymore? I remember the change of look. They do. Oh no, I think because gatekeepers without the armor upgrade, did they look how they used to? No. I don't think so. I should know. Cardolan is, of course, one of my favorite factions. Axe Guard here from Y2K rushing on forward here. Mind Guard sent in to stop them. Are they going to get an axe in the face? No. Ooh, they did get that axe off, and it went into the Merquindi. Ah, fantastic. Oh, dearie me. Oh, those poor elves. That's a right stinger. And now the Axe Guard will just try their best to slice and dice in melee. Pikemen coming in behind. They've managed to secure the flat ground here, so those pikes are going to do a really good job. Over here, the Rohirrim have broken through. These defenders need to pull back now. We need to start running away with these guys too, or sending troops. We've either got to reinforce this or pull these guys back. Yeah, okay. Noble is getting back. Looks like again maybe one rear guard unit being left behind, just to make sure we don't get backstabbed by any crossbowmen or little throwing daggers that want to chase us. But that's another. It's another 2 pretty decent looking units. Pretty healthy units are coming back. There is a little engagement happening out here though. The Ravenborn are going to get caught by the Saurons. Well, slicing them down. The Medicel Guards more than enough in melee though to sort that. Good little little side charge there again to the Saurons. Well, looks like Tommy does not want to retreat back at this point. He is. Him, his orc forces, and those temple executioners are going to try their best to hold their own out here. But now the problem is, the Cardolan troops coming in, setting up there, shooting you in the back with their crossbows. It's very messy. Dragon's Breath looked like it's coming out here to get some sort of shot, but I don't know what it's got. Into anything at this point. I would probably just take any shot that was available to me. Okay, no, repositioning. Yeah, repositioning now. No shots yet. Bull Slayers there. Still with their javelins. That's always the scary thing for a defender. well, for any
half the enemy
faction
force
or any
remains.
position, when you're looking over the enemy forces at this late point in a fight, and you're like, oh god, they've still got ammo. They're still holding their javelins. It is fear. There's a very heroic defense out here. I do like it, and it looks great. But the problem is, it's just I don't think it's going to be working out for them. Sauron's Will, they've sort of organised now, backed up. I think Temple Executioners mixed up with Sauron's Will is such a cool duo. You've got the standard high damage, great defensive skill, great armour from the Executioners, backed up with that heavy AP strike from the Sauron's Will. They're very cool side by side, and they look nice. Of course, they're both the real Mordor elite. Okay. Dunland Rangers coming around. Yeah, he's really wanting to get that ammunition used. You'd be tempted to maybe just come around and do a little side charge with your heavy axes, but no, Hidden is restraining himself, and I'm just going to be pouring shots in. And it looks like, yeah, the defenders are not wanting to... No, we've still got quite a bit back there, but it looks like they're wanting to shore up this defensive line now. Now this, I get this, it's quite nice, but the problem is we've already pulled back. We pulled back too much from this position, so Cardolan's been able to flood in, and all of these units, just about everything here, is going to throw something at you or shoot something at you. And if we wanted to hold here, I think we needed to make sure that Dorwinion was aware of that. Because since Dorwinion pulled back from this position, it's yeah, we're just going to get absolutely riddled now by Cardolan forces. But still, it should hopefully be a pretty heroic last stand now out on the streets. Rhun coming forward. I mean, they'll tank a lot of damage that's coming at them, but there's going to be a heck of a lot, especially Nuke's getting his Dunland Rangers set up on that on top of that wall. They'll have a great shot at just about everything. Earthguard of Amon Soul are down here too. Goodness sake, didn't even notice these guys before. Got so much range power that Nuke has just been waiting to use. He's been trying to use it, but he's just not had an opportunity, and or not had a great opportunity like the one he's got now. So he's going to be pouring shots into these poor defending forces. Looks like the Mordor forces have, and a few of these surviving Dorwinion troops have sort of been cut off now with this little push here. Still a very messy looking little front line, but it's very thin in points, and especially now with the High Lords of Luminous coming forward, still axes being thrown in. It's it will falter soon, I'm sure. Yep. Rangers pushing their way through the lines. You don't really think Rangers is a pushing unit, but it's what they're sort of trying to carry out there. Trying to get stuck in with those heavy axes. Gamp Rim. Engaging. Ooh. Looks like, yeah, the thieves are trying to throw those daggers. Gamp Rim will do quite nicely until they sort of pull out those blades, but the ruffians coming in alongside them now. The junior thieves fighting alongside those thief masters. It is, yeah, definitely a rough little combo. Of course, ruffians not really too impressive themselves. Definitely going to get their heads smashed in by the hammer guard, but a few little javelins in their faces before they reach them is going to be messy. And it still is. I always like the ruffians. Whenever I'm playing Cardolan in a siege, attack or defense, I'll always take the ruffians, of course, because it just provides you a big, high numbers unit. And of course, you're primarily taking them for their javelins. Little shield, lightly armored, shielded javelin unit is always good, but after that it's a beefy unit that you can just chuck in and just take hits for your more heavily armored, more elite troops. Again, those Helm's Hammers, we've been seeing them just breaking. Oh, good little hit. Definitely did shred a good bit of this front line, but might just be a bit too late. Those Helm's Hammers sort of heroically pushing their way in to try and stop them from doing that again, though. Temple Guard coming in to try and watch out for the Dragon's Breath crew. Helm's Hammers alone will not be able to sort that out, but the Ruffians coming in, and there's still some Beastmen around as well, coming in, just a two-handed jab there, and those claws not tearing, being used to thrust, it seems. Blade Masters taking hits, they're taking axes from the Shield Maidens. Bit messy. But of course, I mean, the perfect, really just about the perfect target.
The enemy general. Without him, his troops will lose their will
That
to
actually kind of
fight.
looked like a Arthedain general. It must have been, but the announcer said that it was a defender. Medicilled guard taking hits there. Again, just Newt finally just loving it as he's able to fully use his crossbows and all of his archers. You can see them all getting set up on this wall. Those rangers now, just pouring hits into the defending forces. Medicilled guard taking bladesman fire. Ooh, having to fire straight up and over there with those medicilled javelins, whereas you're seeing, of course, medicilled guard more than happy. Well, it's not really the unit you want to go toe to toe with the bladesmen in a little javelin duel, but they'd probably be quite capable of doing so, but not when they're sort of firing up and over like that. Anything being left in reserve? No, the defenders. I like this from the defenders. It's quite nice. They have sort of seen that they are, their time is numbered here, or their days are numbered, and they are just sort of getting stuck in out in the streets rather than sort of just waiting for the attackers to push their way through that final point. The arguments could be made of, like, I don't think they could have won even if they did fall back instead of sort of fighting out here, but they would have definitely inflicted a bit more damage onto the enemy. But as I say, I think allowing this area to fall and letting Cardolan come up here, they would have just, it would have dragged the battle out an awful lot longer and still resulted in them getting shot to pieces, I think. Looks like maybe the Dragon's Breath is trying to pull back the Dragon's Breath cannon, but at this point, no way. Not with Westmark spears, just sort of getting themselves basically right in that doorway. That is not happening. As we get into the last, 4,000 frames now. Just finish my tea. It's Sapphire Bladesmen standing their ground now. These huge sort of axes, doing their best to keep the Medicine Guard back, keep the Axe Guard back, but some glitched out pikemen. That's a bit of a shame for the attackers. Of course, it's not really going to stop them now with all these sort of high quality units, but anything lower quality is going to be suffering that morale debuff from having a routing unit so close to it. Thieves coming forward here, they're locked morale, so they don't care. Ruffians, though, that'll be a bit spooky for the Ruffians. Ravenborn darting around. Got their, they use, do they use maces, or I think they're armor piercing in melee. But either way, so quite nice to have. Just sort of darting around and bumping into the few remaining defending forces. Eastron crossbows coming out of ammunition. Hey, it's outnumbering the Droll Slayers this much is going to be messy for them. Dropping a few of the guys with that sudden charge. It might be an attempt to just try and save the Dragon's Breath cannon. That could have been the move from Johnny, or it might have just been a case of some little charge to see what damage we can inflict with it. Wards of the North is still alive from hidden, as the rest of Cardolan is now sort of just advancing forward from their overwatch positions, now just sort of getting in close. Warden's here. Oh, cancel shot. I love the simplicity of the Ravenborn shields. It's just nice. It's really cool. Not that I need simple units, of course. I do like a lot of the more sort of bright and crazy shields and models as well. Ruffians here, still trying to just sort of tear apart these bladesmen. Very, very skilled themselves. They'll fight for a good bit longer. Will they? Probably not. 22 of them left, so they probably don't have too long left. Wardens the North trying to get that armor-piercing fire involved.
Our men have slain the enemy general.
As the general of Rhun slain by he must have been part of the
Our enemy has command of the castle.
Slain by, oh no. It's down with the shield maidens is where that happened. Interesting. Oh wait, no, there were some shield maidens. He must have been up here. He could have been in with the
enemy is no
Dragon's
longer in
Breath
command
as well,
of the castle.
It's always interesting to see where people put their generals. You know, some people, of course, they do like just have them as part of a little fodder archer unit that's going to be sat in the back. Some people like to get them stuck in with an elite melee or so on. As I tend to like them in with something like the Hearthguard of Amon's Soul, the perfect General's Bodyguard for me. Something that is going to be able to defend them, of course, is an archer, you know, because I do
foe has taken control of the castle.
Yeah, it's always cool to just sort of see.
The enemy is no longer in command of the castle.
Crossbows here alongside the shadow bows as we get sort of the final push now. Hearthguard of Amon's Soul coming forward alongside the gate guard there. That I love the colour of like the Cardolan like elite units. This sort of bronze sort of aesthetic to them is really cool for me. As they are just pressuring this line. It is of course just some rangers and basic archers now. Wardens pushing their way through. As it is just the runic lines now, a few glitched out.
Our enemy has command of the castle.
Back. Oh,
the enemy is no longer
some of these
in
tribal
command of the
skirms
castle.
are still kicking about. I don't hurt him, you know. I don't think anybody would be too upset if you just sort of hid in the back lines. Just let this happen. As yeah, all of these bronze fighters. Finally, oh, Shadowbow's almost breaking. Quite rare to see. Those quite disciplined, those boys. But once that is broken, we might get a minute defeat from Johnny. Anything still fighting? We're hearing combat noises, but that might just be him still got 4 of those pikes remaining too. Oh hey, we still have 1 Sapphire Bladesman surrounded by the thieves. But it looks like they're happy enough to just let one of these sharpshooters try and 1v1 him. That's going to be a tough fight for that sharpshooter. Okay, no. That's the thieves have gotten stuck in now. That was another mid defeat. Could have been hurt him. No, it was not. Coming forward now into the last of those sort of units that have been come back and been glitched out.
Our men have taken control of the castle.
The enemy general is fallen. Did he? I think he killed that sharpshooter though. I'm not seeing that sharpshooter, so I think he did probably take him out, and then a thief finished him off, or a thief, I should say. Yeah, they've claimed the gate. They've not broken it down. They did. Did they bring a ram? No, they didn't bring a ram. So yeah, good thing that they were able to claim it. Good little collection of bodies sat out there. Where are the last few guys? It's a few of the shadow rules remaining. Set on 2 times speed because I think that is it. After that, and yeah, that was pretty well. I was not sure how that was going to go for a while, especially the struggle that Cardolan was having on his push was a big worry for the attackers. But I think it was just the Rohirrim kind of just aggression. Modexa is definitely, for me, I think Modexa is kind of MVP there. I mean, Hidden is inflicting tremendous casualties. Everybody did very well, of course, but I think that the way that Modexa was sort of just breaking lines like that was so impressive. Having a quick look over Hidden's troops and kills. Poor wards to the north getting shot up badly by those Temple Guard, definitely hurt them. Whoa, nice stuff from some of those men-at-arms. I always like when I've got a men-at-arms with like a positive kill count. Trebuchet, 527. He was inflicting a lot more casualties than I was seeing with that Treb. We did see some glorious hits from them though, actually, to be honest. Surprising from the defenders of Foremost Erin. Sorry, not defenders of Foremost. Didn't inflict too many casualties there. But yeah, no, I always like to see some men at arms getting like some great kills. Some nice sort of prisoners caught. Johnny, that's quite surprising. Johnny caught a lot of prisoners there during this fight. Maybe just some broken Y2K units and so on, perhaps. Either way, yeah, some good work. Really enjoyed the way that Modexa played there, but everybody did great. And I think the attackers definitely kept their cool. Didn't let any sort of losses or struggles sort of get to them. I think Nuke did play it right, of course, just coming in there careful, coming in slow, not just losing his cool, as I say, and throwing his lives away in melee. Used his troops properly. But anyway, cool. Thank you guys. See you later.